Good morning. We are a small crowd today, but a mighty one. It's always an awkward time for me. I've been working for this organization for 20 years now. Some of you have heard this story over and over again. Some of you are new here and don't know a thing about ICC. And so kind of feel like I need to start at the beginning without boring the people who've heard about it already. So I just thought I'd tell my story and how it began for me and how my heart was touched by the work that ICC does. So I've written it down, so forgive me for reading. It was 2004 when I first started working in International China Concern. My first trip to China was 1 year later, in 2005. We have two projects, one in the city of Changsha. That's where the work began 30 years ago. Then we traveled to the city of Hengyang, and this was a city that we were trying or hoping to establish a partnership with. We went to the welfare center there. A welfare center is like an orphanage, except it's for the young and the old who have nowhere else to go. It's for people with disabilities and without disabilities. And ICC's hope was to help the center care for those who had disabilities. We looked at broken down buildings, a concrete slab piled with rubble, and tried to imagine what we could do to improve the living conditions there. We noticed the children looking on the ground for a single grain of rice that might have fallen or a bone that might have been left with something left to chew on it. ICC was successful in partnering with the Welfare Center in 2006, and in 2008, I got to go back and visit again. And it had changed a lot in that short amount of time. We had renovated the rundown buildings and made homes. We hired staff. The children no longer had to look for little grains of rice on the ground as they were provided with 3 meals a day. The Welfare Center, too, had also built a new 3-story building. The building was not for us, for ICC, but we still got to go and see it. We entered a room that had several babies in it. One of those babies had spina bifida. I'd never seen spina bifida before, and it was quite alarming to see. But even more alarming was the fact that she was tied down so that she wouldn't kick her blanket off. Tied down. There was another young boy lying in a crib, and when I looked at him, he didn't look back. He'd already checked out, the vacancy in his eyes. I had to go outside, get some air. It was all terribly upsetting. I remember just being in this courtyard and crying out to God, how can this happen? And how many more kids need to die before there's change here? And then I felt this breeze on my wet face and the still voice of God saying, look, change has come. This building wasn't here before. There's more carers here now. Change takes time, but it's happening. And God was right. The change has happened, it is happening, and it will continue to happen. For the last 30 years, ICC has majored in helping children who have been abandoned into the welfare centers and minored on helping families who have had a child with a disability at home and have not abandoned them. But this is part of the change. God's now moving us in a different direction. And I know I told you at my last update that the government came to us last year in our Hengyang project and said, we don't want you to be here anymore because we don't like how much control you have and we want to take it back. And there's this tension of, ooh, you want to take it back. Uh-oh, what are you going to do with these kids now? And also this beauty of, wow, they're taking responsibility for their children. And it might not be the standard we hope it's at, but they're doing it. So we're still working with children in Changsha who are part of the welfare center, But now that's becoming more the minor side of what we do, and the major part of what we do now is going to be reaching out to families who have a child with a disability at home and supporting them so that they can stay together. And I just want to share with you a video about one of those children. His name is Tao Tao.
Tao Tao is just like any other 10-year-old boy. He's lively, talkative, and loves playing. The only difference is he has muscular dystrophy, and his family is extremely poor. Tao Tao lives with his dad and grandparents. His mum left when he was just a few months old. There are no disability services in his rural village where families like Tao Tao's survive by raising chickens, growing vegetables, and harvesting rice. Neighbors don't understand Tao Tao's worsening condition. It's hard for his family to look after him. That's why generous friends like you send ICC's team to help. Our specialists visit Tao Tao regularly, bringing the support, encouragement, and tools that he needs to thrive. Our team members are there for Tao Tao and his family, whether it's providing special education, physiotherapy, or even lending a hand with the rice harvest. ICC staff arranged for him to see doctors in a local hospital and receive medicine that has helped Tao Tao's health to improve. He is now able to stand and walk slowly by himself, and he is keen to help out with the harvest. Tao Tao's family know that one day it will be hard for Tao Tao to use his arms and legs and to swallow and breathe. But right now, he can learn to walk, play, and enjoy life. Jesus said, "I came that they may have life and have it to the full, till it overflows." John 10:10. This is God's heart for every child with a disability and their family. You can come alongside a child such as Tao Tao. Your gift will provide family support, vital therapy, education, and medical care. Your generosity will let them know they are important and they are not alone.
It's an older video. Happy Lunar New Year. The story of Tao Tao reminds me of the parable of the banquet in Luke 14. So if you can just bring that up, Wade, we'll read that together. Or sorry, Wade, Sunny. So a certain man was preparing a great banquet and invited many guests. At the time of the banquet, he sent his servant to tell those who had been invited, "Come, for everything is now ready." But they all alike began to make excuses. The first said, "I just bought a field, and I must go and see it. Please excuse me." Another said, "I've just bought 5 yoke of oxen. I'm on my way to try them out. Please excuse me." And still another said, "I just got married. I can't come." The servant came back and reported this to his master. And then the owner of the house became angry and ordered his servant, "Go out quickly into the streets and alleys of the town and bring in the poor, the crippled, the blind, and the lame." "Sir," the servant said, what you have ordered has been done, but there is still room." Then the master told his servant, "Go out to the roads and country lanes and compel them to come in, so that my house will be full. I tell you, not one of those who were invited will get a taste of my banquet." For years, ICC did the work God asked us to do inside the 4 walls of the Welfare Center. And now he's calling us to go and find the families that need our help. Those who are overlooked or deemed unimportant are sought after and welcomed to the banquet. And we go to places like Tao Tao's village to invite him and his family to experience the goodness of God in their lives. We do this because, like the story of the banquet that Jesus told, we believe that while the invitation to come and participate in God's kingdom is for everyone, it is the poor, the vulnerable, those with disabilities who we need to go to and find to ensure that they know that they're invited to and that they're included in God's redeeming plan. It is with great appreciation for VEV that I share these stories today. VEV supports the work of ICC on a monthly basis to ensure that children like Tao Tao know they are invited to the same kingdom celebration that we've been invited to and that we are here celebrating today. There's a brochure on your pew I left for you. If you would like to support ICC personally, we've started a monthly program that's a kind of a lower entry monthly program. It starts at $10 a month. There's a QR code on the inside of that brochure if you're interested in donating monthly, or if you just want to do a one-time donation, on the back of the brochure, there's another QR code that would just take you to a one-time donation place. No pressure, just an invitation to you as well to join with us in changing lives in China. And to ask also just to pray for us. Being a Christian organization working in China has always been a challenge. Somehow, by the grace of God, we've been there for 30 years and have continued to be. We just, they have something called a foreign NGO status. You have to have that to work. That was given to us just this last spring. So we've got another 5 years at least to go before that needs to be redone again. And pray for our outreach workers who go into these rural areas looking for kids like Tao Tao. It's their joy and privilege to go and find them, and it certainly changes the lives of the families that we help. Thank you. If you have any questions, you know where to find me.